Welcome to Visitor Parking. I'm your host, Alex Vargas. I have thought about doing this for a long time. This is something where I see everybody else getting filthy fucking rich, and I typically don't think they're more interesting or more funny or more talented than I am. I personally just think that maybe they have bigger balls than I do, and they just started, being themselves on the mic and talking to people. So come along. I want to talk to you guys about some very special topics and very special, um, people in the world. So we're gonna get started here with our first episode and just kind of covering pop culture stuff, man. We're gonna call it drones, planes, trains, and automobiles. That's right. You've heard about the drones. I've heard about the drones. It might be on your TikTok if you're a little crazy, if you're a little into conspiracies. This is kind of the thing for you. But let me go back. I want to first start with why I've called it visitor parking. So I believe that there might be one thing that separates us from the animals. You know what that is? You want to know what that is? Visitor parking. For example, if you are not a visitor of the said building, but you park in visitor parking, that really grinds my gears. Not talking about anybody at my work, but I am talking about the fucking guy in flip flops in the believe it's a Bronco. And I don't live in a place where you can really have Broncos. I mean, I think it rains here a lot most of the time, seven months out of the fucking 12 that we have. Anyway, shorts, flip flops to work. This might have been the start to my hatred of visitor parking. But you see people like me, we've got a code. We've got a creed. I would never, ever park in visitor parking if I was not a visitor of that residency. So that's my thing. It started off angry, and then I kind of also thought maybe, we're going to be going on different journeys, talking about a whole bunch of different weird shit. So, um, you know, you're going to be a visitor, and you're allowed to park there unless you're a piece of shit just coming on to listen to me rant, which, a lot of us are. But anyway, um, first topic drones in New Jersey. What the fuck is that about, man? Why are we getting so many fucking drones? Um, I watch a lot of conspiracy TikToks, not because I'm a conspiracist. I also go to Fox News and CNN just to see the differences between the two because that's just how I think the news is best. I want to go see what the crazy Republicans have on their site. I want to see what the weird liberals have on their site, and I kind of want to think the news is somewhere in between. And on both sites, luckily, we're getting drone sightings, and the drones, UAVs, UAFs, whatever they're calling them these days. That to me is something worth talking about. My mother saw a drone. My parents have all seen aliens. They now talk to rocks and stars, though. So I really don't know if my parents are the best people to reference in terms of alien sightings. But most people I know, I think, have at one time or another thought they've seen an alien or have seen an alien, in fact, whether it be via anal probe, butt plug, or something where you're picked up by some sort of anonymous hovercraft that doesn't have a passport to this country or universe. That's typically where I think you'd find an alien in your living room or around. But yeah, it's happening a lot in New Jersey. There's so much news going on right now that I feel like the drone sightings are kind of already going to be yesterday's news by the time this podcast actually airs. We've got the government shutdown happening. We've got a lot of boring shit happening. And I don't know where to begin. And now that I'm starting, I'm realizing that I'm going to need some shit to talk about, man, because it's already been 4 minutes and I'm running out of breath because I'm a bit of a bigger guy. But yeah, I'm thinking these are going to be 20-minute episodes. I'm not feeling a fucking hour. I think that's far too much. Um, Started podcasting, saw Alex Cooper. Some of you may know her as Call Her Daddy. That was actually one of my favorite podcasts because when I was younger, I wasn't really good with girls. I kind of wanted to figure out, what they were all about, what they wanted, what they were into, because I was losing. I was taking a lot of L's, as a lot of young men do. But After a while, I'm like, damn, this girl's really fucking famous. She's got fucking Miley Cyrus, a ton of other people. I'm like, I could do this. Like, she's funny, but I'm funny. I'm not saying we have to compare each other all the time, but I'm pretty fucking funny, and I don't think I should be excluded from fame and fortune and all the other stuff that comes with it. I want to make millions and wear sweatpants too. I think that's something that a lot of us aspire to do. I think a lot of people in my area, at least, they want 60K to 130K. No more than that, though. They wouldn't really ask for more than that because that would require a lot more work than, they're probably willing to put in. But, remote jobs, you go sit in your underwear and work remote. I've never experienced it. I come from very hardworking parents with a lot of judgment and giving me a lot of issues in the past, honestly, about how hard I have to work. So I just feel like I couldn't function if I worked remote. I would feel very much inadequate compared to most successful people. But anyway, remote work, that's a whole different episode where I think I'd be way outnumbered. I'd sound like a lunatic for wanting to work in an office. But anyway, that's why I'm starting this fucking podcast. So maybe one day we can all get out of the offices together. Um, I probably sound really out of shape. I'm guessing. I'm gonna take a guess there. But yeah, that's where we are so far. Um, I'm sure we could edit some of this shit out. I don't know how to edit anything yet. This is my first one. What else did I want to discuss today? We're rambling. Nobody wants to listen to people who ramble. That was the number one thing I read about starting a podcast. It's like, don't ramble. If you ramble, people aren't going to want to listen to you anymore. And I'm like, holy shit, man. There's so many rules to success. It's like, who fucking gives a shit? I'm just going to speak and, nobody's probably going to listen. Um, but anyway, I'd complain, but who'd listen? Yeah, Sopranos. Um, I think a big part of this world is we wanted aliens to come long time ago. That was always the big thing. ET in the 90s and maybe earlier. I think ET was fucking 60s. I don't know. But we want the aliens to be here. We don't want the aliens to be here. Um, they come and we do our TikToks anyway. We don't really give a shit if they're here or not. So that was kind of surprising growing up, 30 years old, and kind of realizing that everybody is so unserious and nobody cares what you do. So go ahead and make a podcast. What's the fucking difference anyway? Okay, let's get back into it. We were that would have been the intermission where we have the ad, which I don't think they do intermissions. Really, they just put the ad in there and they edit. Anyway, I watched a video about Sabrina Carpenter, who everybody knows her at this moment. If you don't, you're probably just too old. But she pretty hit sensation. She's growing on me. Not really my type, but I don't typically go for these. She kind of dresses differently. Like she's in the 70s. I can't understand. I didn't really like that era anyway, of the hairstyles and all. But she's definitely growing on me. I like her spirit, her tenacity for words and songs, and you know, I guess she's hot. She's kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think she's hot, but not because of her looks, because of her confidence in her songs, the lyrics. It's kind of like a sassy Taylor Swift, and I think that's kind of what we all wanted. Taylor Swift did try to be sassy at one point with the whole Snake era thing, but big fan. Just big fan of music in general, and I always like to see who's out there. And she's definitely at the top of the high heel on that one. But yeah, even hearing myself talk, I sound like old and withered and conservative, and I sound like I should be on a news podcast. That's how I feel like my voice, how this voice is going, and that's not me, man. That's really just it's not what I'm about. I want to sound looser. I think maybe I need a couple drinks before I do this next one, but anyway, this is pretty much it. We're going to be covering different topics all over the world. As this place keeps going in this direction that it's going in, we will be here together, go through it together, and if you need a good laugh from time to time, I will happily be that for you. So, um, Yeah, it's the holidays. It's December. A lot of people are going through the best times of their lives. They're hanging out with family, the best family. Whether issues or not, everybody is just so happy, and everybody got great raises. They got new jobs. I mean, that's how the holidays go, and you make up with long lost enemies, all that kind of thing. But yeah, so my holiday's going like everybody else. None of that is happening. It's actually been quite depressing at times, but I do have my wife and children to be thankful for. So I do want to give them a little shout out, as they did encourage me to do this. Kind of, sort of, I don't know if they believed that I would do it, but I do want to accept that Grammy of getting on the mic finally. So I think everybody says, I'm going to start a podcast. Yeah, that's a great idea. I'm going to start a podcast. But when you get on the mic, you're just not that interesting. And I was afraid. I bought the mic, $300 Shure microphone. Googled, what the fuck do all the famous podcasters use? I saw a couple videos I liked, and they were all using Shure mics. So, I think all in all, I spent like $700 on my setup, which some people might say is not a lot. Some people might say it's a lot, but I thought it was a lot. I can only get one microphone. Could only afford one microphone at the time, so I was like, guests are out. We're not going to be bringing on special guests. Drake is not coming on the podcast because we just don't. I can't afford another microphone at the time, and you know, I don't think his rider. I don't think we can probably get the. I don't think we'd be able to pay for half the stuff he needed to come all the way out to the DC area. But Drake, if you are listening to this pilot episode, let me know, and I will. I'll find a way to get another mic on second thought. So. That was a cool thing I saw. I think I was Amanda Bynes. She's like, I didn't start my podcast because I couldn't book the people I wanted, like Drake. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah, everybody fucking thinks like that, don't we? We all think we're going to start a podcast. And, Drake is going to be there, Dave Portnoy. It's going to be all the goats. Well, this is probably speaking to who I watch, Call Her Daddy, Dave Portnoy, fucking, I don't really watch Call of Duty that much anymore. It was more of the beginning thing. I do want to put my main card on the table. I don't watch it anymore unless it's somebody I really want to see on that podcast, and then I will tune into the video of it. But anyway, that's my story so far, man. We're just we're cruising through. I think we've hit a lot of topics tonight. This is a pretty good pilot episode, if I do say so myself. They said not to rant, but we're gonna rant on. Um, so one day, I guess if you want to envision this with me, this one right here, we will have special guests. There will be really cool people on here. I just don't know if I'm ready to do that interview style format yet because um, I don't know what I would really say to, somebody that I wanted to interview at the moment. But we're just going to keep it cool for now, copacetic. Uh, Canceled our honeymoon. I'm a business owner, so we are going through a bit of a rough patch at the end of Q4 here. I think things are going good, but at the same time, like I can't really abandon ship halfway through December and peace out on my honeymoon when everybody else is fighting for their jobs and commissions. So had to cancel that. We were going to go over to St. Thomas in don't know where the fuck it is, Virgin Islands, I think. One of them. Everything was booked. Luckily, somehow we did get our money back from the air, not the airport. I didn't get that shit back, but from the hotel, Ritz Carlton. Shout out Ritz Carlton. They were lucky enough to give us back all of our money because, again, this isn't lucky, but my wife's grandfather did pass away. He did pass this past week or two. So, RIP to Caitlin's grandpa. I met him once. He was a really cool dude. But anyway, we were supposed to leave on Saturday. I never called the airliner to tell them that we canceled our flight, even though I've been telling, my wife that we're going to cancel it. We're going to cancel it. Don't worry. It's going to be canceled. I never fucking called or thought to call. It's just, I got caught up in other stuff. There was work emergencies. There was children I had to deal with outside of work. There was very limited me time in that scenario, and I should have called. I just have this kind of positive attitude about money that if we spend it and stimulate that economy, we're going to get it back. We did a good thing. The economy needed that money, so I paid it. Called American Express, who I used to book it, asked if we could cancel. They go, yeah, but you're going to have to produce, a death receipt for the grandpa. I was like, "Ugh, I can't, I could, but I shouldn't, obituary or something. But the obituary was the day of the flight, and it was too much. I didn't feel like, so I hung up on the person. They were in India. I don't think I would ever see him again, or, maybe the call was recorded. But with all the remote work, who's really working to listen to that recorded call? They're not going to find me. They're not going to remember it. But anyway, I am going to try again to get my money back probably tomorrow because I did think about it, and I'm going to find the copy I have of the obituary, and I will send it over to American Express. But again, just another shout out to my wife's grandpa. That's rest in peace. But anyway, if this gives you any insight to what we're going to be going over, how I communicate with the world, I really need you to think back to Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Those are really, I think, the true American patriots in comedy. Like, they're everyday lifers, and they kind of just call it how it is. And that's kind of how I want to be. I want to be, not too shy to voice my opinion on stuff, but at the same time, don't want to hurt anybody. Don't want to be rude. Not a mean or cruel guy, even though I sound a little Republican. And again, I've got many good people. Many of my friends are Republicans. I don't mind it. I don't even know why I brought politics up 3 times in this thing. I think a microphone comes out, and I'm just like, we got to talk politics. I think I feel powerful. I feel like the Donald again. Not going to go into too much politics here either way. Lose viewers when I don't have any viewers. Well, Alex, that's not possible. We're not going to lose anybody that's not with us. So, that's pretty much, I know we're going to talk about drones this first episode, but there was just not enough on drones. I just don't know enough about them. I don't care. I do get the panic in New Jersey because they did have the whole, we had the whole thing. I'm not going to get into it, but a long time ago, and it was a bad thing. And so I think a lot of people are afraid of that terror attacks to happen again, whether it be drones or aliens or the government not telling us shit. I just kind of think we're all a little desensitized at this point where it's like, obviously the government knows what it is. They're not fucking telling us, and we don't fucking care. We got Luigi Mangione, and this guy's getting paraded around like he's literally the Joker in a Batman movie. And I don't know who thought of this. I've been trying to think of the angles of all this. And this is how fast news works. We got the drones one hand. Now we got Luigi Mangione, whatever his name is. The mafia is not real. But, this college kid grows up super rich, wealthy, in pictures at least. He has enough time, clearly, for a personal trainer and money for that access. Could be good genetics, but, I think HGH is a powerful thing, head shrinker and all that. Anyway, he's getting paraded around like he fucking just blew up all the bridges in Gotham, and we've got to hold this guy accountable. I don't understand. What is the motivation to do that? Why bring him in a helicopter when everybody already loves him? And by the way, I don't understand loving murder. I get it. I guess if he killed a guy that was a monster. I haven't done no research on the United Healthcare CEO. I know that healthcare sucks, that we have to pay for it, and it's hard that billions and billions of dollars in medical supplies. Why can't it just be free? I get it. Trust me, because we pay a lot of taxes, but that's a conversation that none of us are going to be able to fix on the ground level or even get into. But I don't think that means we go to murdering somebody with a gun in public I think it was a decent hour because he had a backpack on from work. Nobody's talking about this guy's family. I mean, whether he was the fucking CEO of hell, he still had he probably had a family, I'm assuming. A mother who, knew him, a father, maybe a wife and kids. If you're a CEO, I feel like they do vet for that kind of thing. Like, we can't put a fucking single guy as the guy of United Healthcare. So I'm sure he had the white picket fence kind of life. And, I'm sure somebody's missing him. So it feels really, really insensitive that a lot of people are getting on, the media and going out and, kind of just, putting a little flame emoji or like, yay, I love you, Luigi. And the fact that we got to fucking say Luigi constantly. I mean, this is how unserious we've gotten as a country. Somebody saw that baby, they're like, not that long ago, like maybe 20 years ago, and they're like, look at that baby, Marge, look at him. Let's uh let's name him Luigi after his grandpa. His grandpa from Italy. Or wherever the fuck Luigi's from. Don't want to be racist here, but it's probably Italian. So anyway, Luigi Macaroni, he's getting booked for this shit. And he looks like a super villain with superpowers. And thank God, my wife doesn't find him attractive, but I see it all over the place where people are like, wow, he's so, I think personally he looks like the dude from American Pie. If you have computers, if you're too young for that, American Pie, the guy's dad with the caterpillar eyebrows, that's kind of who I saw. But that guy's dad didn't grow up to kill somebody else in the streets and then ride off on his e-bike. Which, by the way, e-bikes are very expensive. I don't know if his e-bike was a rental. Maybe it was, but e-bikes, if you want to know, they're anywhere from like fucking $2,000 to $20,000. E-bikes are for rich people. I don't know any poor people who would have an e-bike, maybe a gas bike, but that's just kind of my opinion. So he rides off, e-bike glistening in the wind. He just murdered somebody. Probably has no idea he's going to get a positive reaction from Twitter. Maybe he did. I'm sorry, it's not Twitter anymore, is it? It's X. Maybe he did think that people were going to fuck with it, but I don't think that's why he did. I think if I have to guess, you murder somebody because something isn't right. Something's not clicking. You think you're in a simulation. You watch a lot more TikToks, and the news that you have in your brain probably comes from TikTok. You probably don't look at a newspaper. Not that it's any better. Maybe it's not better. Maybe TikTok is better. I don't know. But, I think you go down that rabbit hole of conspiracy videos. Next thing you know, you're showing up to Pizza Hut asking them where the fucking kids are that they stole, or the people from Wayfair, which is still around. They didn't get shut down because they were hiding all the children on the barcodes. Remember that went on for a long time, and I think it's still going on. I watched that Netflix documentary, and they want you. There's one thing social media wants. They want you to engage with the app. They want you to share it so it spreads like a virus, and they want you to be constantly. I forget what the third one is, but looking at your app all the time, and they're going to figure out what you like, whether you smile, whether you're sad, whatever. So, nowadays you got people going Luigi Mangione, and they're like, "Fuck, they love it. They love it." Dude. The algorithm's like, "Give them more Luigi, more Luigi." So next thing you know, your page is full of Luigi. Unless you're like my wife, and she's very hot, very girly. All she does is it's makeup videos all day long. It's constant makeup. I don't think it's hardly any talking as it is makeup. So you might be like her. You're probably not. You probably didn't make it, 20 or so minutes into this, if you're into those videos. And that's another thing. What the fuck kind of following am I going to have? This is going to say a lot about me. This is going to say a lot about the type of person I am by the podcast. I just hope. I hope it's not as I hope it's not as extreme as MAGA. Shout out MAGA, but I'm not MAGA, so it's kind of like I hope I get the same loyalty that the MAGA people show. That guy could fucking do anything. He's great, good. I want some of that. I just want a piece of it. Not all the pie of the MAGA people, but I would like, maybe MAGA, like, is there a MAGA light version I could borrow? Like, not the premium, not the plus. I just want like, MAGA light fans. Like, they're not going to use the hard R. They're not going to insinuate, older kind of habits and ways of thinking, but I agree. I see your point of view. The left has gotten a little out there. I mean, I grew up liberal, all good. You think one side is the good guys, the other side's bad guys. I mean, it's really not. We're all just brothers and sisters, and LGBTQ, and whatever you want to call yourself. Love is love. I am fucking for it. I am simply talking about, the fan base that I want to go after, and I really just hope I just get everyday people who are just fucking tired of the mainstream social media, and they just want another outlet, a little satirical, a little sarcastic. Not I don't want to go as far as to say I'm unhinged, but we are Sometimes I border. I go back and forth from that line. But yeah, so if you guys could kind of be like my MAGA light group, it could be like there it is. Like you got Budweiser Premium, you got and then you got Bud Light. I wanna have like a Bud Light crew. I want Bud Light drinkers. I don't really care for the IPA crowd. Every time I go to a fucking party, somebody's like, "Hey, you gotta try this IPA. It's got the best hops and it's 12%." They start doing math. When they start doing math with my drink, I'm just like, holy fuck, this is too much. I'm never gonna remember if it's 9 or 12 or 15 or if it was 7. Just get me fucked up. Like, give me a couple drinks. Let's see where the night goes. But when we start getting into the calculations of how many beers that you're allotted in the IPA sections, fuck off. I'm not interested. That's really how I feel. But I know there's a lot of IPA lovers. So again, I've got a space for you here if you like IPAs. I'm with you, brother. I'm not gonna hurt you. This is a safe spot. Um, but yeah, I mean, even the seltzer people, you're welcome here too. I'm not opposed to a nice Happy Dad. Death Row Records, great version is my favorite. If anyone wants to send me anything, but that's later. That's much later down the road after I've entertained millions of people with my stories, which I just don't think are that interesting. I saw Gladiator this week. Took all my employees to go see Gladiator. That was our team building because I didn't want to fucking sit at another fucking happy hour with them because we see each other all day. We're a fucking startup. We're always talking. So, I didn't think we needed to go axe throwing or bowling or to Top Golf. I'm like, let's just get out of work half day, go see Gladiator 2. There was one girl in the group, and it did make me kind of proud. Strength and honor. Shout out Sarah. That we were able to get her into this movie. She was allowed in. They did allow her to see the Roman Empire sort of right after its height. It wasn't Gladiator 2 is all of no spoiler alert. Gladiator 2, spoiler alert, if you are a fan of that shit. I'm sure you've seen it by now. But set after the olden times, after the height of the Roman Empire, right before the fall, I'm assuming, which I don't think anybody really knows the dates of this shit. All we know is there's William Wallace in Scotland and Braveheart, and then there's Russell Crowe and Gladiator Maximus, Decimus, whatever the fuck. He's got his thing going on. Nobody cares about the rest of the stuff unless you're into history. But, if you're anything like me, you watch it, you don't watch it. I majored in history, so I was a historian in college. I didn't want to fucking go to college. Played football, thought I was going to be in the NFL. I never really, I wasn't, 6 foot on a strong day with a strong boot. I'm talking a strong heel puts me at 6 feet. And that's if I'm also straight backed, my scoliosis is up. So my NFL dreams, I went to some D3 school in New Jersey, Fairleigh Dickinson. Not what I thought it was going to be. Everybody was shorter than me, and I'm not that tall. Nobody passed a conditioning test but me, and I'm not that endurance, but I did train. I took it seriously, and clearly nobody else did. So I'm like, fuck. I'm looking at this schedule, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, they want us up at 6 a.m., and then they want us going to bed around like 10:30. I'm like, that's a lot. It was a long day. It was a long day to play with a bunch of shorties from New Jersey, and I'd never been to Jersey before. All I'd seen the Jersey Shore, loved it. Loved the Jersey Shore on TV. This was not like that. This was like the people that would be filming the Jersey Shore, the people that actually lived there. No issues with Jersey, but I go in, I go out. I don't want to stay. That's just who I am. I'm more southern than that, and it really grinds my gears to go up to Jersey and have to talk that talk. So anyway, I packed all my shit in my car. Probably day 3, went home and so they're up transferring to a party school down south, Southern Virginia, Radford. That was a pretty good experience for a while until I realized it was just basically everybody I knew from high school. So it's like I never left high school, and then there was maybe a different crowd from a high school that I knew of growing up because it used to be right next to my high school. It was another group conglomerate of rich kids. So there was not a lot going on at Radford. Big party school, drinking school. Outside of college, took a job in sales, working for my parents' company. Did that, was pretty good at it, made a ton of money. Was driving a Mercedes after my first year, all commission. Worked my way up to, I think I was close to 400,000 at one point. a year, and I was not even 25 yet. So, um, I at the time didn't think I was shit. I was like, this is stupid. I fucking hate it here. Like, why are we working? You know, we should all be at home, not working, and somebody should be doing the work. You know, but that dream died. You know, when I had kids, because I realized, you know, you're gonna have to do your work and then a little bit of their work, and you know, there's gonna be a lot of love in between. But you know, this dream of doing nothing all day that died at like 20, 21 years old. So shout out to college. I should have stayed longer if I knew how hard life was going to be. But no, life has been good. Other than that, started a company when COVID started, so that was a good idea. Who fucking does that? But yeah, I was coerced. I was coerced. My mother's like, I need you out. Can't fucking be here anymore. Causing too much drama. You know, you're kind of an ass sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, understandable, understandable. There's other things that had happened, but we don't need to get into this podcast. That's for another time when I'm feeling bolder. But anyway, left that company, started my own company, me, a couple guys, and that was like the American dream. We worked from like 9 to 3 most days, half day Fridays. You know, I think we got up to about almost 1.5 million in sales with just like 3 people. None of them had any experience in what I did. I trained them all in how to do it. Dumb as a box of rocks, but we had so much fucking fun. Like we were laughing every day. It was a great experience. But you know, business is business. People go their separate ways. It's hard for people to buy into the vision. Like, hey, you can be a millionaire. Like it's gonna happen. You know, it's just you're gonna have to start off poor as shit and then work your way up. And people are like, "Ah, that doesn't sound like what I want to do. And so that's okay. So we part ways. Business is fine. Business is growing. We're at a good place now to where, you know, I think, you know, 2025 is going to be a great year. But that's kind of my life in a nutshell. I'm sure I left out a ton of stuff, but this is just a pilot episode, so I don't want to wane on you guys too much. Um, but yeah, I think that's pretty good, honestly. I think we can go ahead and stop there. I don't want to give you too much because I really think that daily content is the way to go. I run out of breath fast. I don't know if I have an hour in me. I'm not interviewing anybody. I don't want to keep you guys too long. You have stuff to do. I hope you're working out at the gym or you know you're driving somewhere nice and beautiful and you know I hope you get to heaven. Whatever. I wish the best for you. This was really really great and I hope to see you guys again. Honestly, you know let's meet again. So I'm gonna air my next episode probably tomorrow. You can expect daily content here, shorter videos. That's pretty much it, man. Wish you all the best. God bless America. God bless our troops. Always wanted to say that. Anyway, bye, fuckers. See you later.